What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Doing the Bowmore 18-year-old today. That's what the bottle looks like. Pretty nice little bottle. This one is bottled at 43%. There's a variety of casks with this one. A little bit of sherry cask involvement, a little bit of ex-bourbon traditional whiskey cask involvement. It is peated. Okay, I wouldn't say heavily, but there's a bit of peat in there. The way Bowmore infuses peat into their barley, okay, a lot of people don't know this. I actually got an opportunity to see this firsthand. Although I kind of knew the process, it's cool to get to visualize it. And I went to a Bowmore event last Thursday, and they showed it on a presentation that one of the Bowmore representatives was doing. So basically what happens is they have what looks like this giant fireplace, and at the top, high above in a basket, is where they put their barley. They get their peat and it's dried out for a certain amount of time, and then they throw it in this fire, which basically causes the smoke to travel up the chimney and infuse the basket of barley with the peat smoke. So this allows the barley, the malted barley, to dry, okay? A lot of people do different things to dry their barley. Glengoyne, for example, doesn't use any peat whatsoever in drying their barley, whereas, of course, most Islay whiskeys do, and Bowmore is no exception. So that's the way they infuse peat in their barley. I'm sure many places have something similar in their process, but I don't know if they're all identical. I doubt it. So I thought that was pretty cool. And for those of you that don't know, now you do. This one is a really well-priced 18-year-old whiskey. It's $120 at the LCBO. There probably isn't any left because it sells fairly quickly. You don't have to rush out to get it, but when it's there, it sells over a period of 2 to 3 months. All right. $120 seems to be the price that's. Well, actually, I've seen it a few places in the U.S. for 120 American, so that's actually more expensive because our dollar is a lot cheaper, or a lot lower, sorry. So that actually would be way more expensive to buy in the U.S. I think in the U.K. you can get this for about £70, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Anyway, on the nose, you do get that very, very subtle medicinal type iodine-like peat from Bowmore. But it's a really nice amount. In my opinion, it's the perfect amount. It's not too much like you would get from a Lefroy. It's where I kind of want my peat to be if you're using that Islay traditional style peat, all right? It's different for Octomores for some reason. It's different for Highlands and even Japanese whiskeys that use peat in their whiskey. There's got to be some sort of different process that causes that rubbery iodine medicinal note that you would get from the Islay type peat whiskeys. And I don't like seeing, especially the notes on the front, say fruit, dark chocolate, and Islay smoke. Yeah, you do get a lot of those things. Okay, so you do get your red fruits. I would say even a coffee note as well if you had to add to it. It's a combination of the sherry casks involved as well as the peat smoke. It's actually a really nice nose. My knock on this is simply that it's added color, all right? They don't say how much. Obviously, there's no way of knowing. It's bottled at 43%. It could be a little bit higher, but I don't mind it at 43%. It's that the simple thing of adding color I'm starting to become okay with color added. It doesn't really change the taste much, if at all. I've never been able to try the E150 on its own to see if it actually has a taste to it. But from everything I've read, there's no real indication of the change, the taste being impacted by the E150. All right, I know Ralphie feels differently, but I don't think it's significant. I really don't. I think it would be a true pro that would be able to point that out, if at all. All right. So I could do without the color added, just more aesthetically. I don't like the idea of looking at something that's not natural. Yeah, it could be unchill filtered, but those two things pushed aside, this is a nice whiskey. All right, on the palate. So you get that peatiness. The smoke, the campfire type smoke, the saltiness from being a coastal distillery, a little bit of dark chocolate coming in now, a little bit of cinnamon. Didn't really get too much fruit on the first sip. There it is. So in the beginning, you get some red fruit, your darker fruits like dried fruits as well, dates, dried figs maybe. It's nice. And then it kind of slowly develops into something a little sweeter, maybe closer to a lesser dark chocolate, I guess you can say, closer to like a 60% as opposed to a 75 or 80% dark. And then those espresso notes, you really get them on the finish. Gets better with every sip, as does most whiskey, but this one in particular, because with peated whiskey especially, the initial taste, the initial smell is going to be dominated by peat, and then you're able to weigh through it as you continue with the whiskey to kind of pick out the parts that you really want to enjoy, like the fruit, the chocolate, and the espresso, the cinnamon, all those different types of things. Anyway, really good whiskey. I'm about to give that a mark, but before I do, I want to show you that I will be doing its younger sibling, but much more valuable. This one's not chill filtered, unlike the 18-year-old. It's bottled at 56.7%. This is the Devil's Cask limited edition number 3. I'll probably do that by the end of the week, all right, or within the next 2-3 reviews for sure. Really good stuff. I want to talk about it. I also picked up some really cool things lately. I've been kind of splurging. Things have been good, so I'm trying to make sure that the channel gets the right treatment it deserves, and you guys get to see the right things. So I picked up a Springbank 18-year-old. I'm excited about this one. Only 7,200 made of the Springbank 18. I have quite a few other whiskeys over here. I also have a really, really cool brandy that I want you guys to check out. It's bottled at 43%. It's an Italian brandy. It's called Mazzetti. It's 20 years old, all right? Obviously, my friends and I have been enjoying this one because it's getting down there, and I want to review it before it's all gone because it's really good. And come Christmas time, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to lean toward my brandies, my cognacs, and my rums a little bit more. I don't know if it's desiring that sweet note. I'm not 100% sure why, but that's just the way it is for me. Anyway, that's an A. So really close to an A+, not quite there. I love a lot of it. The things that I could do without are the fact that it's unchill filtered. It's got a bit of added color. But really, we're splitting hairs here. I think that's about an 88 if I had to give it a mark. 87, 88, all right? Give or take a mark, not more than that. I don't think it enters into the 90 category, which would put it at an A+ for me, but it's pretty close. I do like that saltiness. I wish there was a little bit more salt, a little less medicinal note, but that's actually something you would pick out more out of the Vault Edition #1, which is a little bit more expensive than this one, but it's very, very good. If you don't mind buying a No Age Statement whiskey, you should check that one out. That's an A though. So like I said, 88 out of 100. Really, really good whiskey. Okay? You guys can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snups. You can also check me out on Patreon. Just type in Whiskey in the Six on any of those and I should pop up. The channel's been doing really well. I'm about 40 subscribers away from 2,000, guys. I honestly did not expect this when I started this just over a year and 8 months ago or so. Actually, sorry, I lied. It's a year and 11 months in a couple weeks. So we'll be at the 2-year anniversary. I think it's December 24th when I posted my first video. So I did not expect to have 2,000 subscribers by 2 years in, and it's gonna happen before that. And I have you guys to thank. You guys have been awesome.